Pray you should not do this nonsense for the rest of the life.
All right, I'm sending you the link now.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to this episode of the 10 Time Morning Show. Today, we're going to be talking about screen time rules. Or rather, we're going to be talking about screen time rules that actually work without the tantrums. This morning, we had a interesting tech issue, but we can go live with this. So let me know when you join. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know so that we can get started. All right. So welcome to the Tensai Morning Show where we discuss everything about raising genius kids. My name is Chris and I'm your host for today. Let me know when you join. Let me know where you are watching from and let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. Amazing, amazing. So your child has the iPad. They've been on it for let's say for 5 minutes. So you finally say, okay, that's enough, put it away. And what happens? What happens? Instant meltdown. They almost go berserk. Screaming, crying, sometimes even throwing the device. And so you feel like the bad guy. So sometimes you just let them keep it for 5 more minutes, which turns into 10, which turns into an hour. And by the end of the day, your child has been staring at a screen for 4 hours and you feel guilty and defeated. And the frustrating part is that you know that screens are not good for your child, and you know that they are not good for kids. You know that they're not good for them, right? You've read the articles about dopamine and attention span and screen addiction, but the alternative feels impossible. The alternative feels impossible, which is telling them no and having to watch them, um, having to share the link over, right? So you feel like the bad guy. So you know this is bad or this is not good. You kind of like you want to use let me just give him a beg. She is just today, right? So you get defeated because when you tell them no and you become a bad parent, so you become the kind of parent, oh, I don't indulge my child, and then my child starts seeing you, your child starts seeing you as a bad parent, or you give them and you can save yourself for one more day. There is no middle ground except that there is. And today, that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a framework that eliminates the tantrums while actually getting your child off screens. No punishment. It is just going to be rules that make sense. So, is this something that you are excited about? Is this a problem that you currently face? Let me know in the chat right now if this is something that you currently face. Let me know if this is something that you currently face. Let me know if this is something that you currently face. So first, let's talk about what's actually happening. Let me pull up this slide so that I can move it out. Okay. So let's talk about what is actually happening when your child is on a screen. It's not that they are lazy or addicted in the clinical sense. It's neurobiology. It's neurobiology. Right? When a child uses a screen, they are getting constant dopamine hits. Every notification, every animation, every colorful change is designed to trigger a dopamine response in the brain. So dopamine is the chemical that makes something feel good. It makes it feel rewarding, feel necessary. The problem is that these hits are happening faster and more intensely than anything else in their life. So real world activities like reading a book or playing with blocks release dopamine too, but much more slowly. So compared to a screen, everything else feels boring. It's like a new driver driving on an 80 miles per hour or 90 miles per hour speed. Something that would have taken you a while to get to or to master, you are rushing it, you are getting in everything all at once, right? And then there's an attention span cost. You see, when a child's brain is constantly being when a child's brain is constantly being bombarded with stimulation, like when there's a lot, stimulation is simply, you know how like a child's brain is like exposing something or someone to something that they are not supposed to yet, or that they are not prepared to handle yet, right? So when a child's brain is constantly being bombarded with stimulated, their brain gets used to that. So when they come to school and the teacher is just talking and not providing constant visual changes and sound, and the teacher is not as exciting as the one is seen on TV, their brain feels like understimulated, it feels unchallenged, they can't focus. And over time, their ability to sustain attention on things that don't provide constant feedback starts to deteriorate. Here's another one. In fact, a lot of parents that I talk to or that I meet, especially those that come with the thing that, oh, my child has a speech delay and this and that, can all be traced to an overexposure of screens from their early ages. Because the reason why your child would have a speech delay most of the time is that they didn't start developing the muscle to talk when they should, because they were busy keeping mute, watching something else to trigger them. Now they are now bombarded with all those things, and their brain cannot process what they have here with what should come out of here. And so you see that even when they start talking, they are mimicking those sounds. They're mimicking those sounds in their head that they've consumed. They can't talk culturally because that is not what they have been accustomed to. Right? So now you see that this is a problem. This is a problem. But what most people do is they say, oh, you, no screens. They say, you, no screens. No screens, no TV for 2 months and all of that. Right? So most people will say no screen, but the thing is that the logical solution is it doesn't work that way. See, I understand why parents go there and say no screen, but it doesn't work, and here's why. When something is completely forbidden, it becomes special. Think about it, the forbidden fruit effect. So it's like, if you say I should not go and do this, wallahi, that's the first thing I want to go and do, because you already told me that I shouldn't do this. In fact, my brain wants to do it just because you said I shouldn't do it. Just because. Okay? So the temptation to sneak in and use screens actually increases. So when your child sees screens, this amazing thing that they can't have, that everyone else has, because they're watching you, they're seeing you on your own phone. They see all this amazing stuff and they are like, I need to, even if I'll hide and use this device, I will use it. Plus, we live in a world where screens are part of life. Even in the schools, they're not going away anytime soon. So a child who grows up with zero screen exposure is going to have a harder time managing they're going to have a harder time managing eventually when they have access, right? So what works is not total obliteration, but it's not total obliteration, but balance. Balance. Clear rules about when, how much, and what kind of screens. Rules. Rules. I'm going to be teaching you guys something, at least I'm going to be talking so much about structure in the coming days, because I'm putting together something to actually help you guys create this structure. Because the thing is, these are the things that, in my assessments, I see a lot of things or a parent comes to me and say, "Oh, my child is this," and then after assessment, I realize that this is not an academic problem. This is a structure problem. It's a background problem. But then it seeps into the academic life of the child. It seeps into the academic life of the child. And so most of the time, imagine a child who has been dumbed down by these screens. A child who has been dumbed down by these screens, how would they perform in school? Anyways, let me share with you my my three rule framework, right? My three rule framework for access to screens. And I think that if you start using this, you start having more time and more peace, especially as regards anything regarding screen time. Okay? The first one is earn it. Earn it. EARN it. Screens are not a right, they are a privilege. Right? So you have to make your child earn it through doing the things that matter. That could be their homework done well, not doing their homework, but their homework done well, right? Or practicing an instrument, or reading a book, or playing outside. The child knows that if they want screen time, there's something they need to do first. It's simply cause and effect, it's not punishment. So you want to play a game, great. Let's finish your homework or read for 20 minutes. I always share this story of how, as a child, I used to be so stubborn, and to do my assignments and all of that was so hard. And one of the things my mom did, because my mom would always see me trying watching people downstairs, because she didn't let us go downstairs to play. So I'll be watching other kids downstairs playing, and then when she noticed that this is something I really like, after she has done everything, she has done galadima, she has flogged, she has yelled, she has done everything, and none of them worked. She was like, "Okay, Melia, if you do this your assignment well, and you wash your uniform and this thing, when you come back, I'll let you play downstairs for 30 minutes." That was all the motivation I needed. I kept doing that until I left the house. I kept doing it until I left the house to go to the seminary school. Right? And so that's the power. Anything that you want your children to have, they have to earn. Okay? So the child is learning that screens are something you work towards, not something you zone into when you are bored. Okay? The second rule is for you to time it. So time it. Screens have a limit. Not 2 hours, not 30 minutes. You have to decide based on the age and what is reasonable. So a 6-year-old might earn 15 to 20 minutes, a 10-year-old might earn 30 to 45 minutes, and maybe a 15-year-old or could earn let's say 1 hour to 2 or 3 hours of screen time. And the good thing about this, I'm going to say something, this is a trade secret. It's you don't have to actually just come out and enforce this on your child. You have to get their buy-in, you have to get their agreement. And the way you frame it is that you frame it as though that they have the choice to decide if they want the screen time or not. So you have to set these rules ahead of time, so that the rules are clear. So when you set the timer and it goes off, the device goes away. No negotiation, no begging, no extension. And when they beg you, don't agree. The biggest problem I find with parents is that you feel like, oh, sometimes you should be more flexible. Sometimes all you need to do is just to draw a line in the sand and stand there. You have set a timer, and your child now says, maybe you set the timer now goes on. You say, Junior, oh yeah, bring that tab. Mommy, you're just like, Mommy, now 2 minutes. Let me finish with 2 minutes. And you're like, okay, wow. You successfully destroyed everything, because now your child knows that they can beg the next day, and the other one, and the other one. So you have to stand very firm. Funny, that's even the rule 3. I didn't even look at my slide. But rule 3 is to talk about it. Right? While or after screens, you are having conversations about what they are watching or using. You want to know exactly what your child is trying to get. You want to engage and see. So engage. Say what's happening in that game. Why did that character do that? Is this making you happy or frustrated? This keeps screens from being mindless consumption. So your child is thinking about what they're experiencing as they are experiencing it. Right? That's one way actually to use screen so that it doesn't feel like that they are kind of just zoned in and just ogling at the screen without actually being on there, knowing what they're doing. So let's talk about age limits, age appropriate limits in terms of how long or how much screen time should a child have according to their ages. So a child that is under 5 years old, right, should have minimal screen time, maybe 15 to 20 minutes a day. Maybe 15 to 20 minutes a day. Try to keep it to a lot of not slop, not cartoons, but also maybe a lot of things that are just exciting to do, making crafts, right? If the child is 6 to 10, then 30 to 45 minutes a day is fine if they've earned it. So not every single day. It depends on how you create it, how you make the structure work for you. Now, maybe 4 or 5 days a week if they have done the work to earn it. Now, if they are 11 and older, then you are looking at maybe 45 to an hour on days that they've earned it. But here's the key: it is not unlimited, it is earned, it is not a right, it is a privilege. It is earned, it is timed, and it is discussed. So these are not rigid rules. Of course, you adjust based on your child and your family, but the principle is the same. You have to manage screen time. And even though, let me tell you something now that most people do. After you remove screens, don't leave your child in isolation. You need to always put something as now. That thing might not be as exciting, but let it be exciting. Some of you make very terrible deals. You come to me, I'm the child here, and you came to me and you say, nah, you will not have access to these screens again. But in exchange of that, you are going to study maths. Oh! The way I will eyeball you, like really, really. So make deals that work. So when you remove screens, you have to put something in it. So it could be, oh, we're removing screen, but you can read this. You can read this. What's this kind of book called? You can read this comic book of Ben 10 or something, and then you can come and tell me the story. Or you can create XYZ, or let's go out and touch grass. Let's go and create this thing. So whatever you are removing, you have to replace. Replace, because nothing happens in isolation. Nothing happens in isolation. You see, I work with a mom who had given her 8-year-old basically unlimited iPad access. So the child was in for like 4 hours a day. Every evening was a battle because the mom would eventually try to take it away and the child would lose it. The mom will feel guilty because see her son now is not throwing all the tantrum in the world while she was, using the iPad as a babysitter. So what we did when we started working with her, because this is part of what we do in our coaching program, we help you regulate this and actually follow through with it to make sure that whatever system we are setting up actually works for your child. So what we did was we set up this anytime we talk about this framework, and the first 2 days were rough. This man will call me 2 minutes. Oh, Mr. Chris, my child is yelling down the house. I say, leave him to yell. Leave him to yell. Then after like 2 days, we now started adding more, replacing those alone times with more activities. We started doing that. In the first few days, the child would still cry for screens and all of that. And then we started introducing those timed 15 minutes blocks. Guess what? Today, in fact, it was not during this episode that the child realized that they could draw. And so what is that? The child started drawing, the child started doing more drawing. And right now, if you see some of the work that this boy has done, why? We remove screen time and let him replace that with actual work. And the most important thing is that the mom did not budge. The rule was there. And so because the rule was clear and mean-spirited, the meltdown stopped. So the boy now knew exactly what to do to end those screen times. So in the beginning, you'll probably be the bad guy. But don't worry, it doesn't last, okay? It doesn't last. After like a week, everything must have settled. So, and another thing also is that it's not just about the screens or how much you give it. Do you know that this things actually affect your children's mood? Like they can watch something and their mood is just swiveling. They're having mood swings. But when you are actually doing something real, you will appreciate the progress that you're making, which improves your mood. And that's one of the things that the mom reported. That not only did the screen time go down, but the child's mood improved and he was playing with friends more. When you are too exposed, you see people, even in today's world, they go out, they're in a social setting, they go out with somebody, and they're pressing their phone. I'm like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So, if you are a parent, and screens are a battle in your house right now, I want you to try this framework. Let me know if you are going to try it. Let me know if you are going to try it. Let me know in the chat if you are going to try it. Tell your child next time you want screen time, I want you to, we're going to read for 20 minutes first. Make it clear. Set it. In fact, part of this is, I don't want to go deep into teaching this, but in order for you to do this, you need to be able to have what we call a study schedule. Study schedule is a specific time when the studies actually happen. This is a thing that now creates that ripple effect, that ripple habits that you are looking for. Right. So if your child knows by every 4:30 p.m. that they are going to read, and immediately it is 5 o'clock, once they demonstrate that they actually learned or that they read something, then they have access to their screens. Imagine if they knew that every day and it was so consistent, and that time they earmarked it. What do you think is going to happen? Right? So talk it through with them, then use the timer. I have this timer. Don't know where it is, but I have it. And it works. Kitchen time, all those little the time. Once bell goes, boom. Make it simple, make it clear, make it fair. Right? So, okay. I'm reading some comments. If anyone says definitely she will. Manny says she'll surely try it. Amazing, amazing. I see a comment from Miss Benwa. She said the screen time in my house is regulated. Good, good. Now you can now layer this one on top to kind of make it more bulletproof. Does anyone have any questions? Let me know if you're going to try this method. Let me know if you're going to try it. Okay. All right. So in the absence of no question, thank you guys so much. We're going deep into this. Now, before you go, I want to ask you a question. What is the number one problem that you have, or number one challenge you have that you feel is affecting your child's education the most? Drop it down in the comment section now. Drop it down in the comments. Drop it down in the chats. I'm going to see it. So drop it. What is the number one challenge that you're having with your child's education? Does screen time include TV? Yes. In fact, it is the big head of the pack. It does include TV. One of the things I was telling someone is that, do you know why children, especially like when it comes to devices, the reason why children are addicted to this thing is because they see the parents consume it, and then from the child's brain is thinking, wait, everybody is using this thing, everybody is doing this thing. What are they doing? That is why when your child starts seeing you press your phone, they want to come around you to see what you are doing. They are curious. And so when they come and you start hiding the phone or you say, no, don't give me the phone, they are like, this person is an unjust person. They are enjoying it, but you're telling me not to enjoy it. Right? So, one of the best ways to minimize screen time in your house, this one is insider secret. Don't tell them that I told you. Don't tell them, oh. But one of the best ways is stop using screens in front of your kids. Remove your TV from the parlor. If you have a bedroom, put it there. Right? If you want to watch anything, put it low. If you want to press your phone, go inside your room. Don't press phones in front of your child. I promise you, if you're able to do that, your child by themselves will win off of it because they'll be like, it's not that important. That's why my mom is not always on it. So therefore, if she's not always on it, this thing must be useless. Of course, this is for people who maybe their children have not even like started. But this is a very important hack. Very important. Do you know why? Because your children are copying you. So you want them to copy the part of you that you want. Yeah. All right. back at it. So, anyways, we've thank you guys so much. We've come to of today's session, like a network glitch or something. So, come to the end of today's session. So, do well to actually implement this. If you have any questions, please do well to answer. Do well to, and I'll be here to answer it. I'll go to comments and I'll be able to answer. Okay, very much. Enjoy and I'll see you tomorrow for the what? We're going well. Oh. Tomorrow is day 13, and which is why your child fights homework every night. So don't miss it. Same place, same time. Do not miss it. I'll see you tomorrow to talk about why your child fights homework every night. Thank you very much and have a great day.